Hawkeye dropped on Disney Plus the other day, so I thought I'd give it a whoop. The heck was that? This is Jaime Carroll, ex-Hollyoaks storyliner and MA in screenwriting. He's here to react to the first episode of Hawkeye with me. I'm hyped. I like the fact that they did it Christmassy. I like Christmas stuff. Do you like Christmas stuff?
No. It opens up to a destabilised family, waster of a father, and the child's just neglected.
She's trying to pretend that she doesn't know as well, but she's aware.
Yeah.
She's playing it down.
Think fast.
Again, that's like a little moment, like a really small foreshadow moment that her reflexes are going to be pretty quick.
It's also showing that she gets on well more with the mum than the father. Maybe it's foreshadowing that she has a desire for a father figure in her life, and then when she meets Clint Barton, that's where
that could be
it comes from. So this is building up to the Avengers.
And it's also placing her in the universe that we already know things about.
Yeah.
That's what Marvel do very well. Taking new angles and putting them into this playground that they've created.
I like how they started with this rather than having a flashback. It started off in a fragment of 2012 and then building up to a present day character.
And it instantly pulls you into this character who is not... I don't think she's been in the story before, has she? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
So we're instantly starting to go, okay, welcome this character into the
We've seen it from her perspective from the beginning of the Avengers as well.
And as a Marvel fan, isn't this such an interesting thing to see from the perspective of a civilian? That's so cool.
Avengers Tower, that's amazing.
That's nice.
So are they the good guys or the bad guys in this right now? Do you know what I mean? They weren't there to save the mum if she's dead. That's the
so she could blame them.
That's what she associates death of her parent with. She's going to be rescued by Hawkeye now, isn't she? By an arrow.
Yeah.
What a way to bring Hawkeye into it as well. So is this the absent father thing then?
That must be it then. I think your father figure thing still does stand. It's just in a different way to what you predicted.
I need to protect us.
So her need to protect has an external and an internal conflict. You can see it right there. So I wonder if that's her father's death at this point is the inciting incident.
Interesting. So much foreshadowing, so many interesting things already sort of introducing Hawkeye, only teasing Hawkeye for now, showing us that this story kind of isn't really about Hawkeye, it's actually about
her. Also the title sequence is showing a story as well of her going through school and learning.
This is her life,
Yeah, which is quite clever. You don't need to tell it in a load of scenes. You can see it right here.
Okay, so here we go. Present day. We're in.
There we go. That automatically shows us that her trainings work wonders. She hit the target, so she's already got the skills to become a superhero. But she's going to cause some damage or something's going to happen, and that's her flaw. She doesn't have the discipline
to do it, no. But it's also interesting to see she's not in superhero land at the minute. She's got friends and she's showing off to them a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a new dimension to her as well there.
She hasn't got responsibility of being
No, not at all. She's got to grow up. This is a coming of age story, isn't it?
Yeah.
Friends aren't very loyal.
But it shows that she is, though. She's not dobbed them in.
This is an awkward scene. For saying it's like quite funny.
Yeah. They've really underplayed it as well, which is great.
Yeah, because like this could be quite a comical moment, but actually we're watching it from the point of view of Clint. And we're with him the whole way because we know he's been through the trauma.
Which is great because we also never got a chance to see his perspective in Avengers. So the chance to revisit it 9 years later is quite a retrospective look on his character.
So why do you think they've chosen this as his introduction scene? It feels like, for me, that he's watching the world that he used to be part of and now he's no longer part of that.
If you looked at that poster there and it said like smashing, roaring, triumph.
Yeah.
And that juxtaposed the fact it's not a triumph to him because he's lost so much. Can you see there, soaring, smashing, flying, fighting, musical triumph to him? What's triumphant about the fact he's basically suffering with loss?
Yeah, what's beautiful about this is that as an audience, we are either one or two categories. One, we're first tuning into this and we know that he's been through something and it's quite clear to us his opinions on the Avengers and what they've been through. Or two, we've watched all of the films and everything up until now and we're feeling the pain of his loss. That is like amazing, Ryan. To be able to deliver both of those audiences, it's just fascinating.
Looks like their relationships changed as well in this scene. She's not the little girl that the mother. There seems to be more of like a frost.
What makes you feel that?
Her reaction, there's a huge gap between both characters. So if you've got like a gap between the characters now, then obviously there's the table that separates them. There's a huge divide.
No one said the mother's moved on, but we both watched the screen and we saw him walk in with the rose and we knew that the mother's moved on. So we set a question in this scene, and that is, oh, she's not getting on with the mum anymore. Why is that? And then we answered it with the girl walking in.
Oh, that's perfect.
Feels like Clint's happy, but he's not. He's missing something, isn't he?
It's fascinating that you say that he's suffering from a loss, so he doesn't feel like the complete person when we don't quite know what yet, but we can just see something.
And isn't that keeping us watching?
Yeah.
To find out what that is.
Is that due to his performance or the writing?
It's the performance, although the writing can get it across, but I do believe the performance is what's doing it. And to be honest, the writing, because it's put him in situations to react to, which has caused us to make that assumption.
Also, an interesting aspect is that Clint is very good with children. He's a family man, whereas Kate clearly isn't, or she's not very good at talking with people. She's not a people person.
I feel like Kate's got a lot to learn, and I think she's eager to learn, whereas he's so broken from it. She's just coming into this world of being a hero, and he's kind of sick of that world.
They both got pain, and it's how they react to it. They both got that absence. She's very standoffish, and in all the scenes so far, she's removed from that family dynamic, whereas Clint is actually fully engrossed in it.
Doggy!
Oh, get the dog! Because Kate decided to follow it, she's taken on her journey through the woods.
And what is that?
Well, it's the character's call to action. This is what defines them early on when they realise that they're going on their adventure, but by doing so, there's a flaw that they need to overcome.
We like these types of characters because they are active characters. Characters need to make choices. This character's making a choice.
Ronin. That was Hawkeye's sword.
Anticipation is the key to keep audiences watching. If you can put enough anticipation in,
then you can break the rules.
We are anticipating those two characters meeting.
The thing, what's great is that this story doesn't need them to meet right now. It's still giving time for them to stand on their own 2 feet until that moment. Well, she's taken on this characteristic of Ronin, who was Hawkeye's alter ego, who killed and slaughtered a lot of people.
She's in over her head as well. Look at it, like the lack of discipline, like you said. She's got the ability, but not the discipline. Fight scenes are always so wonderful to watch in shows like this, but this is really well done because it shows that she's not quite got the skill.
Yeah, it's like the stunts were so well done that she's quite flimsy with it. She's not quite got...
She's all over the place.
Yeah, that's so clever.
And now the dog's helping her and he's getting in on the adventure as well.
She saves an animal. She essentially not saves the cat, she saves the dog.
Saves the dog!
And we like her.
Yeah, we like her for it. Look at this, it happens all the time.
What's interesting is that he's been very passive, so there's always the call to arms with a character. Usually happens in Act 2, where it's the call to the adventure. He's had the options to go on the adventure, and he's held back himself. He's not made the right choice to become from passive to active. Whereas Kate Bishop has been the active one.
Still doesn't feel like the story's fully started yet, though.
No, it feels like a really long Act 2, which is a critique, I would say, of Disney Plus series, that they never quite feel like a TV show. They always feel like an extension of a movie.
Yeah. Which, it's a new way of doing it, isn't it? I mean, there's two ways of looking at it, really. I've not been entertained during this, but I suppose the question is, would you be entertained if you're not into this universe?
Come on!
You're a Hawkeye.
And who the hell are you?
That's it. That's
Brilliant. That's the hook.
That's it. That was a great opening. But Jamie, can you see that video there? That's a video which basically shows people, other screenwriters reacting.
That one right there?
Do you think people should click it?
Ooh, can I click it?
Go on then. Why aren't we left? We should be on the next video by now.
I left clicked.
You left clicked.